Alright, so according to Achenar, Cirrus killed Atreus, their father. But is that true? Is that really what happened? Well, we'll just have to continue playing and find out. So now it is time to do another age. Continuing clockwise, we'll do the Channelwood Age. And let's take a look at the Channelwood book. This is probably the age that gave me the most trouble as a kid. I have called this age Channelwood, and in this very different world. Though it is exactly how I imagined it, it is still amazing to see it with my own eyes. Water covers this age as far as I can see except for a small rocky island. Elsewhere, there are only trees, which grow directly out of the water. A myriad of thin wooden passageways are built just above the water and disappear into the forest. I assume they were built some time ago, for they appear aged. I am eager to discover more about this land and its people, but I have arrived here late and I must rest. I was awakened this morning by strange noises coming from a pathway adjacent to the one on which I had slept. I saw a group of monkey-like people heading in my direction. They had not seen me yet. I did not feel threatened by their presence. Their response to me was one that I would have never expected. After staring at me for a short time, they fell to their knees and began what appeared to be some sort of ceremonial worship. I tried to speak to them, but they did not understand my language. Instead, they indicated through enthusiastic hand motions that I was to follow them. As we walked, I began to notice that the waters below us were changing colors. Slowly, subtly, they would change from deep blue to muddy orange, then from muddy orange to a beautiful clear. It was so intrigued by the water, I hardly noticed that we had arrived at a ladder. Climbing the ladder led us to their village, which is about 10 meters above the water, and can only be reached by rope ladders that stretch from the lower paths to the village level approximately halfway up the grand trees. It is very interesting watching these people carry out their daily tasks. Even after watching them for hours, I did not understand exactly what they were doing. At sunset, they motioned for me to follow them. I followed the creatures to the doorway of an enormous hut. Strangely, once inside, I found that the hut appeared even larger than it had from the outside. The walls were garnished with bright metals, and in the center of the hut sat the leader of these people. At least, he appeared to be their leader, for he sat a meter off the floor in a thick throne. Guards surrounded the strong creature, who was dressed in many exotic, colorful fabrics. Next to the leader sat a very old human. At least to some extent, he appears human. His hair, which was only on his face and head, was completely gray, almost white, and hung very long around his frail body. His thin head hung limply by an almost grotesque neck that could not hold its head up to look at me. But what a surprise, this creature could speak my language. Shortly thereafter, I was given a bed with some hand motions that looked to be telling me to go to sleep. I look forward to learning more. As I suspected, the ancient creature is a human, but he is old beyond his own reckoning, and seems almost insane. However, the tree dwellers almost revere him as a god. They are treating me now in the same fashion, which makes me feel very uncomfortable. It is almost impossible to understand this old man. His voice is feeble but wild. He has adopted much of the language of the tree dwellers. He himself told me he had not spoken our own tongue in ages. He attempted to explain to me the history of this place. The following is my best translation of what he has told me. Many years ago, the humans and tree dwellers lived together in this place, which was then a vast island. They interacted very little. The humans dwelt on the ground, and the tree dwellers lived high above the humans. Occasionally, the island was disturbed by mysterious rumblings which happened randomly, some sort of tectonic or volcanic action, I suspect. The sometimes slight, sometimes heavy tremors would only last a short time. Then they would stop, allowing everything to return to normal. One day, things changed. The rumbling began and grew quickly to unprecedented levels. Soon it became apparent that the entire island was sinking slowly into the ocean around them. Many of the humans died that day, but not before sacrificing themselves in order to stop the sinking of the island. The humans who lived through this catastrophe moved into the trees where they gradually died out, maybe because they were unequipped for such an environment, but I'm not sure. This is the story the old man communicated to me, although many details are very unclear in my mind. I am especially confused as to how the humans saved the island from completely sinking. In fact, I doubt the accuracy of that part of the story. The island must have stopped on its own. Yet the old man believes in the truth of the story as if he had been there, and the tree dwellers worship him, and apparently all humans as if they were gods or heroes. The old man ended our conversation today with an event which I will never forget. He began gripping my hands tightly, murmuring something about rest and asleep. He then said, "We had expected you to come sooner." These actions filled me with a sort of immediate dread. With much effort, he stood to his feet. I tried to help, but he pushed me away with more force than I imagined his frail body contained. The tree dwellers quietly surrounded him with very solemn faces. They then kneeled before him. He walked to each and placed his hand on their heads. All the while he murmured words which I did not understand. Finally he turned to me and smiled. Then he closed his eyes and walked out the door and off of the narrow path high in the trees. The tree dwellers were silent. They began a procession down the nearest rope ladder. As I was descending, I saw several of them pick up the body he had fallen onto a lower level of walkway and carry it away. He was laying down at the dead end of a short pier-like structure. With the use of some potion, one of the tree creatures lit the pier on fire, and I watched as the flames engulfed him. As this strange funeral proceeded, the waters around the pier changed to dull green. This morning I awoke, finding it hard to even believe the previous evening's events. The water is a dull green for as far as I can see now. For some reason, the water no longer shifts color. As I wander throughout the pathways, the creatures watch me, curious to see what I will do next. They are constantly offering me strange objects of affection. I even found food outside the doorway to the room in which I had slept. This is a unique race of beings. I hope to learn their language soon so that I may learn more from them. And in kind of a bluish-purplish ink, I have lived on this world for 3 months off and on, and the tree dwellers have shown great hospitality. I am even beginning to learn bits of their language. I have decided to return home for an extended stay with my loving wife and my sons, and hopefully return with them. However, I am sure Catherine will once again refuse. I think this age would be a wonderful experience for them all, and I at least look forward to how Cirrus and Achenar will react to its current curious inhabitants. In green. Catherine is staying behind as expected. My sons have returned with me, and they enjoy this age very much. They get along very well with the tree dwellers and are picking up their language surprisingly fast. I have no doubt that it will not be too long until they can speak with the tree dwellers much better than myself. In purple, I'm leaving tomorrow to check on Osmoian age. Cirrus has suggested that I allow him and his brother to stay. Though the idea unsettles me, I know the boys are growing up rapidly. The hospitality of these creatures is such that I could think of no better place to leave them alone for a short while, so I will consent to their request. I warn the boys not to take advantage of the respect the tree dwellers have for their ideas. They seem to understand my warning, and I have faith they will follow it. Much to my dismay, upon arriving in Everdunes, I learned that Pran and her people are continuing to be menaced by the Choctic. Or Chachtik. I would say Choctic. I fear for their survival and plan on returning to her shortly after checking on Cirrus and Achenar here. See Everdunes Journal for more information. Unfortunately, we never get to do that because the Everdunes Journal has been burned. After watching Cirrus and Achenar, I see they are handling things very well, and I think I can put to rest any fears about leaving them in Channelwood again, and for a little longer time. In a brighter purple, the tree dwellers seem slightly distressed that I'm leaving, but are happy that Cirrus and Achenar are staying behind again. In red, I have been gone for over 3 days and have been to many different places. I had to tell Cirrus and Achenar about Pran's death today, and they were visibly shaken, although they only remembered her from their childhood. Catherine has suggested that it would be wise for Cirrus and Achenar to leave Channelwood for a while, and I have to agree. They will be returning with me when I leave again. In that kind of purple-blue again, I have told my sons that they will be returning with me in 2 days. They spent the entire night telling me of an adventure they experienced in my absence, and it was rather remarkable. It seems they constructed a boat with the creatures and traveled some ways out into the surrounding waters. I enjoyed hearing them talk excitedly about their adventures, and it reminded me of my own adventures as a child. I finally understand why the tree dwellers have been giving me their many inks and insisting I write with them. Looking through some of my past entries, I see now that the inks have been changed from the black I thought they were to various different colors. I've shown some of the creatures my journal, and they laughed and howled. I did not know they had such a sense of humor. Even now, as I look through this very colorful journal, I cannot help but laugh myself. We will be returning tomorrow, so my sons are with the creatures for the last night here. They have told me they would like to come to Channelwood again, and also ask if they can visit some other ages alone. Though I will have to think over their request, I believe they have proven to me that they are trustworthy and responsible. Catherine will also have to help me decide whether they are ready to travel alone. For now, I must give my farewells to the creatures, for I do not know how long it will be until I visit this age again. So now we get kind of a map of Channelwood, including a future bridge, and also other plans. And that is the end of the Channelwood Journal. So now it's time to go unlock the Channelwood Age. So let's go up to the tower, which should already be spun in place. And up we go. Alright, so where is this book? Well, if you guys were paying attention earlier, I kind of already told you. But it is ensconced below the big tree. So yeah, the forest is the key here. Alright, and our key to get in is 471. 471. There we go. Again, completely different from the original. That's part of the randomized aspect of some of the puzzles here. Some of the puzzles, like I said, if it's environmentally based, then it's not randomized. It's still the original solution. But if it isn't environmentally based, then it is randomized, at least in this playthrough. Alright, so we need to get to the cabin, is where we need to go. The log cabin has our answers. Alright, and in here, we have a safe, which has been, again, changed for VR, because we have these dials here. So we have 471. We have to manually turn this. 4, 7. Come on. 7, 1. And open it up. And originally... Yeah, that's not going to work. Originally, you had a box of matches. Oh, no, that actually ignited that. That lit it up. Okay. Well, then, let's spin this. Let's open it up all the way. And what that does is that raises the tower here. And the faster the more you open it up, the faster this thing moves. Now, the tower, the tree here is just a tower. It's basically another elevator. And we can actually hop into it and ride it up. Get a nice little view of the island from here. Top of the world. I just got a secret achievement. So, this is the highest we can go. Gotta press this button, and that will sink us back down to floor level. Unfortunately, the best it does is reset us to here. It doesn't let us go any further, because we actually have to go down. Alright, so let that go up. Alright, go back in here. Now we turn this back off. And run back out here, because we have to catch this as it's going down. Oh yes, just caught it in time. Alright. Because while this sinks back down, that's where we need to go. That's where the Channelwood book is actually hidden. There we go. We got a nice little preview of the Channelwood Age down here too. Again, this is an area that's, again, been completely redesigned from the original. Now, a little preview of Channelwood. But let's just go ahead and hop in. Now, even to this day, this age kind of gets me twisted and turned around. So we'll see how well I handle it. Alright, so we're in Channelwood. And it's covered in mist. The dull green of the water appears to be leaves. Yes, we've got these planks, these piers, and these pipes. With levers, again, redone for VR. Basically, what we need to do is follow these back to their source to start for this little island here with this windmill. The windmill is what drives the hydraulics of this. You can hear the water gurgling and pumping. That actually stops it for a moment. But that's not what you actually need to do. What you need to do is turn that to now the water is flowing. And now you have to follow the water. And you can direct it along certain paths here. Currently it's going in this direction. So if we come here, the water is powering something here. Up there. It's powering something up there, which is where we need to go. It's an elevator, basically, and there's a staircase here, but we can't get to it. This is blocked. Can't open that up. So what we need to do is switch to where the water's flowing. There we go. Now it's flowing in this direction. Alright, and it's flowing again here, here, here. So that takes us up top. However, before we go, let's continue exploring. So we've got a telescoping pipe there, broken pipe here. No way to travel directly across. If we follow this other branch here, we'll find a dead end. I think that's where we first appeared. We'll follow it out here. Water just goes down that way. We follow it out here. Oh, I see what I need to do. I screwed up. Let's go ahead and flip that. And let's not take the elevator first. Let's continue down here. Just keep the water flowing this direction. Because otherwise, this won't be powered. Yeah, it powers a generator here that will raise up and lift a bridge. And from here, we can spin this around. And if we do this, there we go, telescoping pipe to connect that, and that will power this elevator if we direct the water down here. This elevator will actually take us up to the 3rd level of Channelwood, which is where the MYST book is. But we don't want to go there yet, because we still need to get the pages before we leave. Yeah, this one's a little bit involved. A little bit more involved. So what we need to do is go back. We basically solved Channelwood already. But what we want to do is go back here. And flip this again. And take this elevator up. Right? No, I think maybe we do want to go that way. Let's pop that over. Because that'll send it down the telescoping pipe. Let's go check that out. I think that's where the MYST book is. I honestly don't remember. Yes, that is where the MYST book is. Okay, I do remember. I know why this is confusing me. Because that's not actually to the 3rd level. It is where the MYST book is, but it takes you up to a hidden section of the 2nd level that you can only access through that elevator. But what we need to do is come here. Oh. Might help if I direct the water correctly. There we go. No, that's the elevator we didn't see where the locked door was. That is on the 2nd, taking you to the 3rd. Alright, so now we're on the 2nd level. We need to find a way down from here without using the elevator so we can switch things around to power the elevator going up to the 3rd level. So, we'll move around these huts and kind of explore and check them out. Again, this always kind of twists me around and gets me twisted and turned around. Alright, so we got a hut here. Not what I'm looking for. Hut here, not what I'm looking for. Let's go this direction. Okay, a little platform. Yes, I think this is the one we needed. Yes. So we've got this. And that opens up the doors for the staircase back down to the first level. And that's what we needed. So now we gotta find our way over there. So yeah, that is where the MYST book is. Alright, so let's keep it kind of exploring and taking a look around. Kind of get a sense for who these people were. They're obviously all gone now. Basically, the implication is that Akinar enslaved them. And potentially killed them off. And you'll see why that's the implication in a minute. You need to get up to the 3rd level for that. Yeah, all these different passages and samey rooms, I get all twisted and turned around, usually. But I always find my way there eventually. So that's the elevator we need to power now. That's going to take us up to the 3rd level, which is where the pages are. So we got to go back down. Long winding staircase. Open that up. And now we need to get the water flowing in this direction. And back up we go. Come on. There we go. And then to the elevator. There's the door, and up we go. To the 3rd level, the top level. The level where all the important shit is. Alright. So up top here, let's follow in this direction. So here we have a hut with a metal door and a gate. A gate we cannot get through. So let's go ahead and open up the door. So yeah, remember how in Adris's journal he said that he was being worshipped by the native inhabitants of this age? Well, Akinar seems to have definitely taken over the role of God, and a very vengeful one, it looks like, by this sacrificial altar. However, we can go to the back here. And this allows us to open up that gate. So now we can get through there easily. But this is where Akinar lived when he was here. This was his room. And you can tell that because it's got the blue page, plus it's behind his temple. And this is where he controlled that holographic display. You know, that's that message. Here's another one. Here's a third. I don't know why it went dark. This is the important one. And it's amazing that this is missable.
Button, my dear brother. What a very interesting device you have here. Not racing anything important in life. Remember, he is preparing. Take only one page.
So that's interesting. Again, it's completely missable. But it seems like Cirrus and Akinar may be in cahoots together. And I missed something in Stone Ship, didn't I? Oh well. It doesn't really matter. I already know what it is. So yeah, let's go back this way. Or maybe it's here in Channelwood? I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe it's here in Channelwood. So this is Cirrus's room, and obviously it's much higher quality. all this stuff. There's the red page. Blue cheese. Oh, nope, there it is. That's exactly what I was looking for. The other half of the torn letter. One in Akinar's chamber and one in Cirrus's chamber. So, vault access, Land of MYST, to in very plain view on MYST, and access can be silly if the simple loud. First, locate switches on the island. Of these switches, go to the brick hut, turn the marker switch the off position. Alright. If you piece together those two, that's a very big clue to how to finish the game, how to properly finish the game. But we're done in Channelwood, so now it's time to get out of here. Let's go to the MYST book and get out. We're making crazy time on this, and it really helps that you don't have to return to the ages. You only have to do them once. Because in previous versions, you can only hold one page at a time, which means if you want to 100% complete the game, you got to visit each age twice, which isn't really an issue except for the Selenitic age. Because there's one final puzzle that you have to do both times in order to get out of there. However, again, here you only have to do it once. Alright, so that's the correct direction. Yes. Yes. Alright, flip you. And then we run all the way around. I didn't get nearly as turned around this time as I was afraid I did. As I was afraid I would. Still, got a little bit twisted, a little bit turned around. Alright, back to the water noises, which is funneling this elevator. Oh, that's not going to work until the doors close. There we go. Alright, up we go. To the little hut where the MYST book is hiding. And there it is. The book back to the Library of MYST. So that is the Channelwood age done, which leaves one left. The Selenitic age. But first, we have to return the pages and see what the brothers have to say for themselves. Now that we've learned a little bit more about how they treated their father's ages.